Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog, your favorite father and son duo covering Miami Hurricanes football and sports. I know this is an early one. Hopefully, you guys can join us. Everybody on Facebook, everybody on YouTube. Hope everybody's having as good of a start to their Sunday as they can. What's going on, Big Dog?
That's about right. About as good of a start as is possible after that debacle yesterday. Um, just what can I say? They man, it's been a minute since I've been that disappointed and that upset with everything. That upset with everything. That upset with, I mentioned to you right before we went on the air that how come every single game we have the more talented roster, but the other team always wants it more than we do? I'm tired of that. I'm just tired of that. I'd like to be on the other side of that coin for once. You know, I'd like to be on the other side of the coin where I could say, hey, you know what? The other team has more talent than we do, but man, did our kids fight. You know, I'm tired of yesterday Rico and I went back and forth on it on text. And by the way, thank you all of you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, we got let me just a quick
Yeah,
little
please go
roll
ahead.
call here. Terrence Jones, Fabian. I know some people were commenting prior to when we went live. Thank you for joining us, Alex 3532 U Canes, Ramono, Penn State. Penn State fan, thank you for that, man. He says Penn State fan, Miami, keep your head up. I know your season is over, but I respect y'all. Thank you so much for that, man.
Thank you, partner. Appreciate that.
Mr. HD. I'm not sure if I said Newport Kane already. Strange Clouds, Eddie the Kane, Jackson. Good morning, Coconut Kane, Eddie. What's up, Rico? Bill K, Baby Shaq. Yeah, man. I know this is an
No,
early one, so a lot of people are not going to join us like our usual on our Thursdays at 7 p.m. But if you guys could share this and get this out, or if you're watching it on the re broadcast or replay, whatever, leave your comments in the comment section, and we'll go ahead and interact with you guys there. 786 Canes, events at the end. At least we can cut the QB argument short because yeah,
together
that but
slowly,
but
not
see,
kidding.
but that's something that we've been saying. That's something that
Yeah.
we've been saying for a while.
That the least of our problems was the quarterback.
Was a quarterback, and we saw that on full display yesterday. You can't put this Martin. What's going on, Martin? I'm
Oh,
glad
so
you were
glad you could
able.
join us from Botswana. Thank you,
Thank you.
Martin, for joining us this morning.
If you,
LBM Stay, also Kane fam.
yeah.
Nine, I'm sure that's nine other soul. But I knew I botched your name. I'm sorry. I should know it better. That was Who's, Jared Watts, Patrick. Thank you guys, Strange Clouds, all you guys. Thank you for joining us this morning. And obviously, not a lot of not a lot to be happy about. Uh, I was before we stopped to say good morning to all of you all, and good morning everybody, and again, thank you all for joining us. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of every single week we play a team that wants to win more than we do. And I know that people say, "Oh, that's a simplistic, term, whatever." But you know how you guys know how deep we follow recruiting. So I know the talent that we have. I know the talent that the opposing teams have, and the talent wise. And this is not a knock on Georgia Tech because they deserve all the credit. They came down and they did what they had to do, and they came away with the victory. So those guys should have a lot to be proud of. But that being said, we have the much more talented roster. And every single week, we can say, I can come on here every single week, turn on our live chat and say, we had the most talented roster, but the other team outplayed us. And Darren, thank you so much for the babies. That was Junior for the babies. Darren,
Thank you,
thank you so much
Darren.
for the donation. I'm
Thank you,
just getting
man.
tired of saying that. I'm getting tired of saying that. I want to be able to say, you know what? The other team had more talent than we did, but man, did our guys fight. You know, and for us to every single week, even when we win, I mean, Central Michigan 17-12. Okay, our best performance was last week against Virginia, and that was really because of the red zone defense. Because if our red zone defense didn't stand up and play the best game of the year in the red zone, we probably would have lost that one fairly comfortably also. So I'm just flabbergasted, not happy with the coaching staff, not happy with the players. Nobody is beyond reproach. Nobody gets a pass. I see players poor tackling. Tackling is effort. Yeah, there's technique in tackling and there's ability and talent in tackling. But at the end of the day, getting a guy on the ground is effort. And I saw so many missed tackles. And you can't tell me that your head's in the game when you're missing tackle after tackle. I'm just, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss because, and then to hear Manny in the post-game comments talking about now all of a sudden we're in rebuild mode and there's too many things that are right to panic. Really? Please notify me of all this that is right, because it's not just a fact. Because if you want to look at the glass half full, you can say, oh, well, all 4 of our losses have been by 1 score. So in reality, we're just a good kicker and a good offensive line away from being 7-0. And you're right. Those things are accurate statements. Okay, those things are accurate statements. We're a good kicker and an improved offensive line for being 7-0. But at the same time, we have allowed games that our kicker should not even matter, even if he misses field goals, because we should be blowing these teams out. And then we leave it close enough where a kicker makes the difference. And then all of a sudden, now we're going to say, oh, well, if it wasn't for the kicker and if it wasn't for, the offensive line, we'd be undefeated. Well, I'm sorry. Georgia Tech is going from a triple option offense into trying to run some hybrid of a spread because they can't even go to all spread because they still have a roster full of guys that were recruited to play triple option. So they are really, truly in a rebuild mode. And they beat us at home. And you're going to tell me you see a lot of things right with the program?
A 1-5 Georgia Tech team that lost to Citadel.
They lost to Citadel, yeah. And I'm not even talking. That's not even the Citadel from the Games of Thrones. At least that Citadel, man, they could have thrown some of that, that dragon voodoo on you or something.
Okay. And I'm not gonna get on here, and I'm not gonna say, fire this coach or fire that coach, but I will say this: I've ran out of excuses to defend Manny Diaz at this point.
Hold on 1 second. Caddy Boy 1978 just said something good, which goes to your point, Junior. So I
put it on the screen.
There you go. How can the defense be in a rebuild? How, Manny? Because that's his defense. Great point, Caddy Boy. But that leads into Junior's point.
This is my issue, man. And I'm not a big fan. Me and the Big Dog are not a big fan of going live after. I know Alonzo 1219 went live after the game and whatnot, so we weren't gonna go live anyway. But we're not big fans of going live after games, after losses, especially because knee-jerk reactions, knee-jerk comments. The frustration is fresh and it's new, so we like to take some time to think about things, evaluate things, and then watch the pressers, watch the post-game pressers of the players and the coaches, watch the tape and stuff like that. So, but the more the day went on yesterday, and the more I saw, the more I saw the. I just got a message saying that Facebook is having any issues. So if you guys are watching on Facebook, I really do apologize. For some reason, there's an issue. We'll see if that gets fixed. Whatever. Let me go back to
J Love T with the donation and
Yeah.
says that means a lot to me, Junior. Thanks for keeping it real.
Yeah, man. Because look, I know a lot of people have been frustrated with Manny in recent weeks, and I've still given him the benefit of the doubt. But the buck stops here for me, and the buck stops here for me for one reason. You can't go from preaching TNM and preaching that you have a team and you have the talent to compete right now to then to those same fans that you're saying to go out there to support the team and go out there and represent, and we need a good home crowd, and then you lay out this product on the field and you lose to a 1-5 Georgia Tech team, and now we are the worst team in the ACC Coastal, and then you're preaching to the fans a rebuild. That I have an issue with, and I'm also having an issue with. I'm not putting everything on the coaching staff. I'm not putting everything on the players. I think there is equal blame to put on in certain spots across the board. So I'm not going to get on here and say fire Manny Diaz, but Manny, I've ran out of excuses to defend you, and I've ran out of excuses to defend you because, frankly, there was a lot of smoke and mirrors, and you cannot tell me, to your point, J Love T, you cannot tell me that this is a rebuild when this defense, in particular, I understand we're young in some spots. I understand we lost some players to the NFL, but if a guy is not getting it done on the field, you said that the best player will play, and I'm seeing at multiple position groups the best player not being on the field as much as they should be. Number one. Number two, stop doing the Deion Sanders and backtracking on a lot of the statements that you wanted this fan base to buy into coming into the season. Okay? You cannot really say with a straight face, and this is what I get upset. This is where I get upset because now I feel like you're lying to me, Manny. Now I feel like you're just straight up lying to me because you cannot tell me that there was a lot of right things going on to not panic. To not panic, Manny, we haven't lost. First of all, we haven't started off, 3-4 since 1997. Okay, so that's a problem. Georgia Tech hasn't beat us at home since 2007. That's a problem. They're 1-5. Now, you could say that we've been in games. Georgia Tech should not be able to be in the game, and this game should have never gone down to overtime. It shouldn't have gone down to kicks. It shouldn't have been that close to begin with. So frankly, I'm not calling for your job, Manny, but I need you to keep it real now, because you talk about a lot of accountability with the players, rightfully so. I agree with you to a certain extent, but I'm not hearing a lot of accountability from you, Manny, and that's what's getting me frustrated. That you're talking about that you need leaders in the locker room and you need the players to hold themselves accountable. I want to see the coaching staff get up there after a game and hold themselves accountable. I want to see Manny Diaz hold himself accountable. And I don't want to see you get upset anymore or get defensive with these questions that these reporters are asking you. Because frankly, these questions and the doubts, now they're warranted.
Absolutely, they're earned. Absolutely.
Now they're warranted. So I'm getting really sick of you trying to preach, happy-go-lucky, positive vibes when, frankly, there's nothing positive going on right now with the University of Miami. So that's something that I have a real problem with. I'm not going to be #fire Manny Diaz or fire. Right. I'm not going to do that.
But there's too many rights to panic.
There's too many
things going right to panic.
That is what's getting me really, really frustrated. Mr. Daninos, have another problem with you. Red zone. Okay, number one, we could talk about one of the things that upsetted me the most, and something that I've been preaching.
Oh, please do me a favor. Remind me of what cute play that Dan Enos has done in the red zone. What cute wildcat reverse. Name me one the entire season that worked for a touchdown. Name me one. I'm waiting. There hasn't been any. Game number 7, you're still doing the same damn thing.
Exactly. And one thing I've been preaching for weeks, all right, is fade routes. Fade routes. I want to say I'm just throwing off a number out of the top of my head. We've probably thrown 10 fades in the red zone. And I think
this year?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe five. Maybe five.
Whatever.
Maybe 5.
I'm saying 10 to just,
and like 3 of them worked.
What? No. Well,
4 of them worked.
Well, if you want to say 5, yeah. To the point, if I said 10, I would say 8 out of 10 worked. Either a pass interference call or a positive play ended up happening. Now, why they're going to KJ and why they're not going to our taller receivers, I don't know. But
not one fade to a guy 6'3" or taller. And we have a bunch of them on the roster. Not one.
But this is where I get upset. Okay. Forget about you're getting way too and I'm sorry, Enos, and I know you get frustrated as well with the with people asking about shotgun under center. I'm seeing this coaching staff being very defensive, especially Enos and Manny. I don't care. You have no reason why to be upset, because frankly, I haven't heard Dan Enos hold himself accountable for some of his play calling. Okay. And I haven't heard Manny Diaz hold himself accountable for a lot of things that are going on right now. Okay. But Dan Enos, end of the game, let it go down to a kick, but no, that's when you want to throw a fade, when you have a chance to run the football, get the ball to the middle of the field, call a timeout with 3 seconds left on the clock, and put the game in your kicker's hands in a spot where they're most comfortable kicking. But no, let's go ahead and throw a fade in that situation and leave the kick on the right hash with still 30-something seconds left on the clock, where you make or miss, you still give Georgia Tech to do something. We've seen crazier things happen in football.
Right.
Explain that play calling to me.
And guys, just so you know, so this is not, hindsight's always 2020. What did I start texting when we were down there? What did I say?
Exact thing.
Run the ball to the middle of the field. Get the ball in the middle of the hashes at least. And kick the kick with 4 seconds left.
We see, and I think Davidson, the block kicker and whatnot, I was scared of that, because
maybe that kick doesn't get blocked if it's not from the right hash and an acute angle.
On extra points, he was laying them right down the middle. Where's the ball when it comes to extra points? Middle of the field. So why do you not run the ball to the middle of the field, put your kicker in a position where he's most comfortable kicking the football? Okay.
Mouse said it's not a matter of that you say it doesn't matter what hash. It does matter what hash, because what you're doing is
it matters what hash.
You're putting your players in the best position to succeed. That's what I'm talking about. You're trying to put your players in the best position to succeed.
That's my point.
And he didn't do that.
That's my point. But we've seen this red zone offense all year getting cute in the red zone.
Right.
Why? Running reverses? Really, Enos? Really? So we're gonna keep on getting cute. Mind you, it hasn't worked all year. Our red zone offense has been terrible. But let's keep on doing it. Maybe it'll break through. I'm not seeing the adjustments that I need to see from Dan Enos on play calling. So some accountability needs to be on Dan Enos. Guys, I really do apologize. I'm pretty frustrated, and this is probably not a junior that you guys are used to seeing, but I'm not gonna put up a front anymore. And I'm not gonna, not that I was putting up a front,
right? But you were putting up a front. You were just being positive, and you were buying in.
I was being objective, and I was buying in. Right. But frankly, now a lot of the criticisms that I felt were unfair criticisms in the last few weeks, now they're warranted. Now here it is on the table, and now they they're valid in my opinion. These criticisms, the fire this, fire that. I'm not gonna jump on board with that. First, number one, because I'm not a big fan of whatever. For reasons I'm not gonna say. I'm not a big fan of saying fire this person or fire whatever. But I need to see more accountability, and I'm really frustrated with the coaching staff because you preach accountability that you want to see from the players, but I'm not seeing the same accountability from the coaching staff. So that's my little baby rant. I'm just, man, yeah, I'm pretty upset.
Richard, you have company. We wanted Manny too. Okay, we talked about the different options when we found out that Rick resigned. We talked about the different options. Mario Cristobal, who's being mentioned,
I'm saying
is one of the options that we talked about. But we knew Mario Cristobal's contract at Oregon, he would have had a $10 million buyout, which then reduces by $2 million every year until the end of the contract. So next, this year it would be an $8 million buyout. The following year be a $6 million buyout. So we talked about that Cristobal had this huge buyout. We talked about Manny having a $4 million buyout from Temple, and we were in the same boat with you. We thought Manny was the answer, with the success he had defensively, and we felt he was ready. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that the quickest way to get negative results is when you accept negative results happening. When
you find that out, keep it 100. You let me know, because I have no idea either. Why? Like, does he want to redshirt people, and that's why he's not playing?
No. But this is my point. This is exactly, and that sort of feeds into your point. Is this okay? Here's what we hear. Right now, let me backtrack and go over the season 1 second. Okay. We lose a heartbreaker to Florida, okay? That even though offensive line played really poorly, we were in the game. We had the lead in the fourth quarter. We gave up that long pass. We had some opportunities. Okay, I get it. Florida is a team made up of juniors and seniors. We're a lot younger. Talent-wise, we matched up with them. We played them toe-to-toe. Okay. Then, J Love with the donation. Thank you. I wanted Manny Diaz also, but I didn't know he was taking CEO role. If everyone knew that he would have went somewhere, that's my take. I understand you want him to be more hands-on. J Love is your point, and I get that. Thank you so much for the donation.
Thank you, J Love.
So here's the thing. So okay, that happened with Florida. So we have a bye. Okay, this is me thinking, right? Okay. Oh my God, North Carolina's in trouble. Are we going to ruin their homecoming? We're going to do like people were talking about, like we went into Penn State way back in the day, and they had their brand new renovations to the stadium, 107,000 people. The really inspiring story of Adam Tadalfero, who had been paralyzed, but actually ended up walking and walked the team or ran the team out to the field. And we went into Penn State and we mauled them. We were up 31-0 at halftime. That's what I thought we were going to do North Carolina, right? Because after that Florida game and that heartbreaking loss, you have a bye week. Oh my God, North Carolina's in trouble. And we go out and we crap the bed. And in a blink of an eye, we're down 17. Okay, we fight, we claw, we get back. Once again, Jaren scores a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. We got the lead. Mallory drops the 2-point conversion. Okay, it doesn't matter. Our defense is going to hold. Not only did we not hold, we give up a 4th and 17. Okay? So now we lose. Then after, I'm not going to talk about Bethune-Cookman, but we had Central Michigan. Okay, what did we hear from Manny?
Coming off a bye week.
Right. We hear from Manny. Well, the practice the Wednesday before Central Michigan was horrible, and we practiced like we played. Okay, so he says about Jaren, they just put a chart up about Jaren, that Jaren from every single distance except from 0 to 10, 11 to 19 passes, all those passes, Jaren's completion percentage was over 10%, is over 10% higher than Nicosi's. So it's not just the short passes. But we were saying before, the quarterback isn't the issue. The offensive line is the issue. The defense not playing up to its capabilities is the issue. Everything else is the issue. That wasn't that. But anyways, let me get back to the point.
Okay.
Did you have to say something?
It doesn't. It didn't matter who you trotted out there.
It doesn't matter.
And Cozy, Jaren, Tate, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Trevor Lawrence. It
didn't matter. There's a million other problems. Okay, so anyways, so here's what we hear from Manny. The Wednesday practice before Central Michigan was horrible. And, Wednesday practices are really like your most important practice of the week, okay? So that's horrible. We played like we practiced. We just barely squeaked by Central Michigan 17-12. So then we hear the following week, the Wednesday practice was again horrible, right? So Manny says he had it. He interrupted practice and started one-on-one drills. And every time somebody lost a one-on-one drill, they had to run. And he said there would be changes. He trotted out the same exact starting lineup.
Yeah.
So what changes? I didn't see anybody's snaps reduce. In fact, I saw Greg Rousseau still getting 20 snaps a game when he was your most impactful defensive player. Okay, I didn't see anybody bench. I didn't see him throw his headset. Okay, what did I hear about afterwards? Oh, at Central Michigan, they were dancing in the locker room because they beat Central Michigan by 5 points by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
And you don't do anything? You don't do anything drastic? Oh, Zion is struggling. Oh, let's just keep him throwing out here.
But hold on.
We got our best five.
Because that's another thing that gets me upset. Manny talks about the standard at the U. What made this university great? Going back to the old days and the old Miami and all this thing. And the old Miami, the Miami Hurricanes that we all know and fell in love with would not be dancing in the locker room, beating Central Michigan at home by 5 points. So that's the new Miami? That's the one you're talking about? That's the standard you're trying to incorporate into this team?
Right. And somebody said 786 was saying Donaldson got benched. Donaldson got banged up. It was my understanding. Donaldson, our offensive line started looking actually a little better. But my understanding is Donaldson wasn't benched. He was dinged up. But anyways, here's the point. Okay. You say that you're trying to instill a culture. Okay. The easiest way to lose a team, listen, being a coach is really not that much different from being a parent. Okay. Junior and I are as close as a father and son could possibly be. Okay. But I was never Junior's friend. I was Junior's father. Okay. As his father, that's the best friend he could ever need. But I was always his father. And there was times that I had to do things that were corrective measures that, of course, I wanted to be good time dad and have a great time with my son. But if he was straying from the path, and Junior was a great kid, so I never had too much to worry about. He was always a great kid. But if there was things that I thought did not meet the standards that I had for him, I would actually correct that. And how would I correct that? You're grounded. I get in his face. That's not acceptable. This is the way you need to be. There was a standard when with playing sports. What did I always tell you about playing sports? If you're going to do it, what did I want from you?
100% effort.
100% effort, 100% of the time, period. Because that was going to teach him a lesson about life. Okay, so the easiest way to lose your team is when you keep saying, I'm going to make changes. I'm holding everybody to the standard. I'm making everybody accountable, and you don't do a damn thing. Okay, that's the thing. So, because I expected, what did I tell you after that press conference, after that Wednesday practice, the second bad practice on Wednesday? Oh, man, some guys are going to get benched. And then I saw the starting lineup, and it's like, damn, nobody got benched. That's the same lineup. In fact, even the snaps were about the same.
No, 247, that's why I disagree with you. 247, that's why I disagree with you, because celebrating after a victory is fine, okay? But when if you think you're up there with the Bamas, with Clemson's, and mind you, I'm not saying that we are. I'm saying that's the message that Manny was preaching to us. Okay, right. So before you say, "Oh, dude, you're the big dog," you guys think we're Clemson. No. I'm saying what Manny said and the standard that he was trying to set. Right. You think Clemson, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State? You think they're celebrating and they're dancing if they're beating a Central Michigan at home by 5 points? I don't think so.
247.
I know for a fact the old Miami wouldn't.
What would Nick Saban be doing if Bama came in and started dancing in the locker room after beating Central Michigan by 5 at home?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
You think those Bama players would be dancing?
I would love to see that.
Bet you they wouldn't.
I would love to see that.
I bet you they'd be running before dancing.
So
okay, and here's the thing, and
you can celebrate. Hey, if you beat Central Michigan the way we did against Bethune-Cookman, you want to dance? Oh, okay, cool. You know, Virginia, you beat 20 ranked Virginia team. You want to dance? Cool. I agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
John McDonald brought up a great point, a fantastic point, and he got slammed on it, by the way, on Twitter. Okay, Dabo Swinney they were destroying Florida. They were Florida State. I mean, they were up 28-0, and the kicker missed a makeable kick. Okay, and people slammed him, going, "Oh, how could you do that to your kicker on national television?" Dabo went ape. Excuse my French. Ape. You know what? Yeah. All right, because I just remembered Orange and Blood, and I'm sure several others had their kids watching.
Oh, so Cohen, Cohen is watching.
Yeah, Cohen.
I know it's tough, but
I know it's tough, buddy. It's all about the you, Cohen. Yeah. Dabo, who's Mr., he's very Christian, very positive. He reamed his kicker and yelled at him all the way back to the bench. The kicker couldn't even get away from him, and then he benched him and brought in a walk-on kid. Okay. The thing is, guys, I'm going to tell you, and you guys are going to think, oh, whatever. I'm an old head, and I get that, all right? But the truth is this. The more we think people have changed, the more people are essentially at the root of us. We're the same, okay? Vince Lombardi, you asked the players, and I've read a lot about Vince Lombardi and read a lot about his philosophy. In fact, one of the quotes that most gets quoted about Vince Lombardi gets quoted 180 degrees in the opposite direction, gets quoted completely wrong. Because people say that Lombardi said winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Okay. What Lombardi truly meant to say, and in fact, he actually talked about that before he died, was that people misinterpreted that completely. What he meant to say was, Slim Shady Canes with the big donation. Thank you, Slim Shady. What play would you call in the red zone, since all our runs get stuffed in the red zone and almost every fade route has been dropped? He has to try something to find something that will work. Slim Shady, here's what I would do in the red zone. Okay, I think the first fade he tried was on game 4 of the year. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, the fades have worked, but he has not thrown one fade to a tall receiver. Not one.
Okay. And not just that, how many fades have we seen end up in passing? Something positive happens from these fade routes more often than not.
Even Jeff Thomas caught a semi-back shoulder fade for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay. KJ caught a fade for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Will Mallory was that the touchdown that gave us the lead against North Carolina in the fourth quarter was basically a fade.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit further out. The
touchdown yesterday was technically a fade to KJ.
Correct.
So there you go.
Correct.
Fades have been working.
And to all credit, the fade on third down, KJ had the ball in his hands and got swiped out of his hand. Right. Yeah. Okay. So that would at least given us an opportunity. Okay. So this Diesel, I don't know if you're talking about the Jared Williams thing, Diesel. Nkosi played yesterday. Did
Diesel
it look any better?
Why does it matter, yo? Like, what do you? It doesn't matter who we trot out as quarterback, man. It doesn't matter, man. Like,
last week we scored 17 against Virginia. The offense wasn't fixed.
Whatever, bro. All right.
And the offense isn't going to be fixed with that offensive line.
Yeah.
Or with this play calling, especially, and not scheming for you.
And what were we wrong about, Diesel? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. What is it that you think we're wrong about? I mean, there's been things that we've been wrong about for sure. Manny's one of them. Thus far, at least, we've definitely been wrong about that. So what do you say, Zoe? By the way, guys, so you guys know we didn't go on. I know we talked about going on yesterday.
What's going on, Zoe?
But Jay and the Family Blaze let us know that Zoe was doing right after a show right after the game, and we didn't want to step on his show at all. So that's why we decided to do it this morning. But thank you, Zoe, for joining us.
Thank you, man.
But the what was the point I was making
about the fades? Slim Shady.
That we were talking about the fades.
Right.
The that's the same Slim Shady. What you can say is the fades, first off, has not been thrown to the most ideal people. Number one. Oh, that's what it was. It was Lombardi. That's the point I was going to make. One of the things, if you talk to people or you read what the players write about Lombardi, is that the worst chewing out that they ever received, okay, was when they won. Okay, because when they won, if they did not live up to their standard, he would literally, the film session would last 4 hours, and he would point out every single mistake that every player made. And then when they get out of the film session, the players would look at each other going, didn't we win the game by like 4 touchdowns? Because they all felt that they had lost. Okay. And the opposite was also true. If he felt that his team put out maximum effort and didn't win, he was nowhere near as hard on them as they believed. But he always held them to a standard, and that is you need to be the best player you can be every single play. Best teammate, best everything, best man that you could be. And that's the standard that he held you. And if you look at all his players, not only did they win 5 world championships in 7 years, they were all really successful in their post-playing career. Okay. Willie Davis, who's a Hall of Famer, was like the #1 Budweiser distributor in the country. Jerry Kramer was an award-winning author. Bart Starr owned a whole bunch of dealerships and then ended up being a coach, head coach with the Packers for quite a few years. Didn't have great success there. But the Paul Hornung ended up being a broadcaster for many years. I mean, you look at this at the success that they had as men, and that was that for that reason, holding him to a standard. So that's what Manny has been talking about this entire time. Oh, Slim Shady. I said it yesterday. I still believe it, with a nice donation. Thank you, Slim Shady.
Thank you, Slim Shady.
How about yesterday's the effort of the players? I saw no fire out of those players. 100, and the players have to make the decision to do it. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And but that's why we're saying we're not putting this on the coaching staff. Like we're putting it on the players. Everybody. We're putting it on everybody. Nobody gets a free pass.
But Slim Shady, here's the thing about the coaches that applies to that.
Thank you, Slim Shady, for the donut.
Okay. Man. They watch the same film I watch, and the junior watches the same tape. So if you see a guy who's either not focused and not paying attention to what you're coaching him to do, okay, or not putting out 100% effort, that guy doesn't see the field anymore. Period. Does not see the field anymore.
Exactly.
Okay. Zoe, thank you so much for the donation, Zoe. Yeah, no, I wouldn't step on your show. That's the thing that we talked about. I wasn't aware that you always did it right after the show. And Jay and the Family Blaze told us about it, and that's when we decided to do it the next day instead. Thank you so much for the donation, Zoe. But that's the thing. And one of the things that about being cute in the red zone is there's something to be said for you to look at your offensive lineman and tell them, I'm going to run it right up your backside. Okay? So you better make sure that you move the pile and move people, or I'm going to find somebody that will.
Exactly.
Okay? There is a mindset to running the football in the red zone. And that mindset doesn't apply to getting cute. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we have, when Donaldson was healthy, we have a 360-pound guard. Okay? We have a 310-pound center in Corey Gaynor. Okay, DJ Scaife goes about 295, 300 probably.
Yeah.
Okay, Ja'Kai Clark goes about 300. Zion's up to 290. You have all those big guys up on that offensive line. I grab them by the face mask and I say, I'm going to run it up your backside. And if you don't move your man, I'm going to find somebody that does, and you won't see the field again. Coach Blocker, who's actually an offensive line coach, would you agree that running the football in the red zone is as much a mentality as it is about technique? I want you to weigh in on that, Coach. And that's the thing is what I've seen is too quickly going to the cuteness instead of actually bearing down and telling your offensive line, you have to get me that yard. Okay, one of the problems, I'll give you a perfect example. You saw it in the NFL. The run and shoot, those of you who are younger don't remember this, but the run and shoot was going to be the offense of the future. Okay? And it was going to everybody's going to start running the run and shoot. Houston Oilers did it with Warren Moon. The Atlanta Falcons ran it, and the Detroit Lions ran it. Okay, that was going to be the offense of the future in the NFL. Okay, you know when it stopped being the offense of the future? When the Houston Oilers gave up the greatest comeback in NFL history in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. Because when they needed to run the ball, now they couldn't. Because they had been so cute. Slim Shady again with the donation. DJ Ivey gets a dunce cap for the fake pump play. Absolutely. Because I saw everybody. I saw
everyone knew the play. Everybody knew their assignments except for DJ
punt safe. Was punt safe. Bubba Bolden, who got there like 5 minutes before. Okay. Bubba Bolden was yelling at everybody, punt safe, punt safe. Okay, that's the default or whatever terminology that they use with the Canes. Okay, and then DJ Ivey lets the guy just run right by him, and that's the guy that hit for a touchdown.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what, it is.
Thank you, Slim Shady, for the dono, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, Slim. I'm just, man, I'll tell you this much. If when Manny started really losing me was not just the game, it was hearing him saying that we've done too much right, or there's too much right going on for us to panic, because that's most definitely not what we were promised.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to my rant in the beginning.
Yep.
Don't switch up on us, Manny. Keep it real.
Yep.
Keep it real, the whole time. And now I'm agreeing with a lot of people where I wasn't agreeing before. Was a lot of people saying that Manny was a politician. I could see it now. I could see it now, and I can't. Like I said, I've run out of excuses to defend Manny Diaz at this point, man. Because honestly, now forget about the Coastal. I mean, it's done. The season is basically done at this point.
Yeah, hope for like the Tidy Bowl game in Luxawani, Michigan or something is the best we could hope for now.
Yeah, but I want to see more guys. I want to see other guys play, man. I want to see maybe somebody subbing in for DJ Ivey. 2 straight games he's gotten. There's been I know Virginia, they picked on him a little bit. I think some of those plays, it was good coverage. I just think the wide receiver made really good plays on DJ Ivey, but nonetheless, we saw him miss tackles and tackling, man. That's another thing we haven't even touched on yet, big dog. Tackling on his defense.
See, that's the thing. That's the
abysmal.
Thing. That's abysmal. Not tackling as a whole. Yes, there's technique to tackling. Yes, there's talent to tackling, but tackling has a lot to do with desire.
Effort, yeah.
Okay, and effort. And I saw a lot of guys very willing to give up blown tackles, missed tackles. Okay, and I saw a running back for Georgia Tech that wanted it a hell of a lot more than our defense wanted to stop him.
Exactly, orange and green blood.
So those are the things, guys. There's plenty of blame to go around. Samuel asked a question of if we think that Manny, if there's no improvement, will he be gone after next season? Yeah.
You serious? You really think
after
so?
After next season? Yeah. If there's no improvement.
After next season,
right. No, yeah, not this season.
Oh, okay.
No. I think that they give him another year for sure, no matter what. But I think after next season, if we have losses like that, yeah, I think we're
Oh,
going to see
and
a change.
and one more thing, guys. If you're Justin Flo, are you coming down for that Louisville game?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell
hey,
you what.
we said it, okay, before the season started. Okay, when you know we do our recruiting breakdowns and our videos and whatnot, and not just commits, but we're obviously gonna do it for our 2020 recruits, targets, commits, and whatnot. But we said it. The number one thing when it comes to recruiting, win. You gotta win. And especially when you want to get players of the caliber like the Justin Flows of the world, or Isaiah Walkers, or I mean, these guys are high profile players. And I'm sorry, but if you're a high profile player on a bad team, because we're a bad team right now. Let's not sugarcoat this. Okay. We are the worst team in the ACC Coastal. We just lost at home to the worst team previously of the ACC Coastal. If you're a high profile player, you're not going to get the same attention. You're not going to get the same limelight if you go to a bad team than if you go to a good team. And that's just what it comes down to when it comes to recruiting top tier talent. So, I think our chances of landing a Justin Flo have fallen drastically, especially, but
let me ask you a question. A couple of people brought up the issue with DJ Ivey. Okay, we know for a fact DJ Ivey heard the call because Bubba Bolden was yelling it and jumping up and down, right? I don't know if you guys saw that before the snap. Okay, Bubba Bolden was yelling it, and what he was yelling was that they were in punt safe. Okay, so we know DJ Ivey heard the call. He let the gunner, the outside guy, run right 247 with the
247 would have. He said, "Guys, I agree with you guys a lot. I'd say 95% of the time, but to be honest, the problems lie beyond Manny. It's Blake James cut the head of the garden snake."
247. I would put it on Blake James if he would not have gone out. You have to remember, again, I know hindsight's always 2020, but remember with Dan Enos, not just Alabama, but Georgia wanted him to be their OC. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Blake James had to step up to the plate and pay him some good money. I don't know exactly how much he's making because Miami doesn't have to disclose that like state schools do. But I'm sure we had to at very least match Alabama and Georgia what they would give him. Okay, so Enos, Blake James had to step up to the plate. We had to pay Temple $4 million in addition to what we paying Manny. Okay, as a buyout. All right. Mm-hmm. So as an athletic director, that's all you could ask for him to make a commitment towards the football program. Okay, he's made that commitment. Okay, now you think about the hire of Mark Richt. Okay, yes, there were people that weren't on board, but there were a lot of people that were on board, and he was a proven commodity. And I do believe that Rick was making $4 million a year. Okay, the indoor practice facility, the upgrade of the weight room. There's been a lot of things that Blake James has done. Now, because even if Manny doesn't work out, is that decision ultimately on him when I don't necessarily believe it is? Because the other options that were out there weren't better options than what Manny was at the time. Because you have to remember, who were the other ones that they were talking about? They were talking about Cristobal with
Fedora.
a $10 million. No, for the head coach, not for the OC.
Oh, no, Fedora for the OC. Yeah. It was Cristobal. Some people were saying Butch,
Greg Schiano.
Who else was out there?
Chuck Pagano.
Yeah.
I mean that was basically. I don't think. And
Cristobal would have been like.
Yes, and Jay Wade brings up the point that Rick donated $1 million of his own dollars to the indoor practice facility too. So those things are hindsight. I can't put that on Blake James. I can't put that on Blake James. Because I do think the commitment has been there.
Mm-hmm. But I'm getting the feeling that people are on Blake James because they want to see some heads being cut off this team and the coaching staff. I think that's the reason why, but
I will say this much. If we continue to play, okay, because getting back to Samuel's question about does Manny only get one more season after this one to straighten it out, I will say this. I think a lot of people are looking at what happens after the season. Does Manny make the necessary cuts, because if you're going to instill a culture and instill the standard and make the standard be what it is, you have to put your money where your mouth is. You can't just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. And if that includes firing your protege in Blake Baker, then that includes firing your protege in Blake Baker. And I know that Manny's averse to that because of what happened to him at Texas, that he was scapegoated at Texas. Okay. I understand that, and I do get that the Texas issue was a little different. But at the same time, what exactly is Blake Baker brought to the table that he deserves because he's a young coach? Okay, maybe he wasn't ready for the big time. So are you going to fire Jonathan Pecky, who doubles as your special teams coach? When outside of Lewis Headley, our special and our punt return game, our special teams have been god awful. Running on 2 years now with Jonathan Pecky. Todd Hartley was actually running special teams though before, but regardless, Pecky has definitely not done the job. Our linebackers haven't developed the way we expected, and that's also on Pecky. Mm-hmm. So are you going to make those tough decisions? If the answer is no, then Manny, you're not going to instill that culture.
Right.
So
and that's what I need to start seeing, man. And like Guillermo just said, Manny needs to practice, what he's preaching. So
that's the thing. Listen, it's not the first. Before I ended up disabled, my thing, I was always in business. Okay. One of the first people I ever had to fire in my life was a friend. Okay. When you're in a position of authority, you have to make tough calls. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because your responsibility at the end of the day is to the people who are providing the livelihood for your family. Okay. So if I say this is my standard and you and me are friends, well, if you don't meet that standard, you're not necessarily being a good friend to me either. So why should I keep you? Mm-hmm. I have a responsibility to all these people. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry if I don't see changes made, okay, or some type of weird turnaround, which I don't expect this season, then maybe Manny isn't the guy to instill the culture. Maybe he is.
It's a difficult situation. It's a difficult situation.
Absolutely, Coach Blocker says you have to separate friends down from business. Absolutely.
Yeah, but we need to start seeing that. I mean, we gotta start seeing that, man, because somebody said it on Twitter, and I don't usually agree with a lot of things that are said on Twitter. So I usually try to stay out of things that are said on Twitter because I feel like some things just get way too disrespectful and personal. But one thing that was mentioned on Twitter, and I think we've actually talked about it this morning, is you got to stop trying to be, the cool guy and stop trying to be the friends of the players.
That's my point.
And you got to be a head coach. And it goes back to my dad's point on what he said about me and him being my father and him not being my best friend. There comes a certain point in time where heads got to roll. And it falls on Manny. You're the head honcho. You're the guy running this football team. So heads need to roll, but it starts with you, okay? And there comes a point in time where, and this is where I get frustrated, okay? I guarantee you that seniors on this football team were not told that this was going to be a rebuild, all right? They were told that, listen, we think we can compete. I mean, we were told, frankly, we think we could compete.
Why did Manny say that Shaq, Pinckney came back and McLeod?
Because they believe that there's something special to do here.
Right. And they didn't want to leave on a 7-6 mark.
Exactly. They felt like there was unfinished business at the University of Miami.
Right.
So,
I guess he meant there was a lot more games to lose. It was not the unfinished business.
I guess so, man. I feel bad for the seniors on this football team. I feel bad for.
Hold on. He says, why would we fire Baker? Because the two of the touchdowns weren't on the defense. One was on special teams, which, by the way, that was still on the defense, Slim, because the punt safe, the defense stays on the field. You don't bring in the special teams. So that was still on them, and it was on a mental fart by DJ Ivy. And yes, the other, the touchdown was on Nkozi's fumble in the end zone, but we also gave up over 200 rushing yards to Georgia Tech. Okay, we also have been out schemed in games. Saw the North Carolina game. We talked about this in our preview show. We talked about you need to take away the fade. Put safeties over the top to take away the fade. Blake Baker made no adjustments for North Carolina's strengths.
Look at what Dante just said.
What's that?
On the screen.
Anthony, I'm gonna get to your question now, big guy.
What Dante just said on the screen. He says either you come to Miami, read that.
Yep.
Yeah. That came from Manny.
That's right. That's exactly what he said.
And now what
he said.
And now we're in rebuild mode.
Yep.
Manny, Manuel, people. Hey man, I have to start seeing something. I have to start seeing something. I'm not calling for your job. I'm really not, man. But you got to start being real with the fan base as well. And you can't keep on being hypocritical with a lot of things that you said coming into this year. And
I'm going to put this back on Slim. Slim, let me ask you a question. And say this. I want you to give me your honest answer. Going into overtime yesterday, when Georgia Tech got the ball first, did you have any confidence that we would stop them and keep them out of the end zone? Tell the truth. Because I sure did.
I didn't either. First possession, I mean, they literally ran the ball straight
down our throat.
Yeah.
Straight down our throat.
Yeah.
And D. Burnett says, what happened to the fire and the accountability, man? He talked about it exactly. 100%.
Yeah, but some of that accountability.
It goes to the coaches too.
Has to go to the coaching staff.
It goes to the coaching staff, but it also has to go to the players, dude.
Yes, big dog. But what accountability have you heard from Manny?
100%. No, 100. And even Enos.
What accountability have you heard from Dan Enos?
Even Enos, he'll say, "Well, yeah, I need to get better too." And then, but as a throwaway line.
Yeah.
There was no, hey, listen, maybe in the red zone, I really haven't gotten a feel yet for week. I mean, some honesty at least of saying, hey, look at me. Dude, what have I always told you? Okay, you need to take responsibility. And again, I go back to the same way you are as a parent, the same way you are in business. I was accountable not only for me, I was accountable for all of those that were under me. So if they made a mistake, I didn't say, oh, you made a mistake. No. It was on me because that's the way I looked at it. I was accountable for you. Okay, so you're right. That's the coaches too. But that's also, we have, I said this when we first started. I want you guys to think, when was the last time that you could say, man, we might have been outmatched, but man, did our guys play hard. Mm-hmm. I can't even remember the last time I could say that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Hey, Lotso, I think I saw you say this on Twitter, Lotso. What do you think about Rousseau going from 20 snaps to being a team captain on his chest?
Yeah, exactly. So how come you had him at 20 snaps for 5 weeks?
Yeah. And now he's a captain?
When you weren't putting sufficient pressure on the defense. And now apparently he found Jesus and you made him a captain? Well, maybe he shouldn't have been at 20 snaps before. You think?
Yeah.
Anthony Manzano had a real good question. He says if Baker were to be fired after the season, should Manny hire a DC or should he do it himself? Ultimately, in a perfect world, I want my head coach to be a head coach, and I want a D coordinator in place and an offensive coordinator in place, and let them do your jobs.
But
if we don't find a defensive coordinator who is the equivalent of Manny or better, then yeah, I wouldn't mind if Manny takes hold of the defense. And then the other question was, if we fired Blake James, who will we put in his place? I'm not in favor, Anthony, of firing Blake James.
Big Dog needs to be the AD at the University of Miami.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. Some things would have gone differently. I can tell you right now, there wouldn't be a radio inside the locker room or a tape player. I can tell you that much, or a cell phone for that matter. And there wouldn't be anybody on social media.
Lonzo Highsmith for AD.
Hey, there's guys. Listen, if
great players. Just because great players that were here at the University of Miami does not mean that they will make good coaches or good ADs. Like, I understand people want to bring because they love those players, and rightfully so. But that does not mean they'll be a good head coach or a good, D coordinator or a good, whatever it is. So
Jay Wade says Jeremy Pruitt might be available after this season. Yeah, it definitely looks. You see the thing, Slim Shady. Thank you so much again for the donation.
Slim Shady, you're lighting us up today, man. Thank you so much for your support, Slim Shady. He says firing coaches year after year.
You're right.
Head coach or coordinator will keep this program exactly where it is. No, I agree with
You're
that.
Right. You're right.
Hey, and that's something, Slim Shady, that we've been saying from the beginning. And like I said,
we're still on the fire Manny train.
Yes, that's a point that I wanted to make clear when I started my rant early. Is I'm not saying fire Manny Diaz. I'm not saying fire Enos, fire Baker. I'm not saying fire Blake James. I'm just saying that if this is what we're going to see for the foreseeable future, then there's going to be a problem. Then, rolling into next year or whatever it is, then those arguments and those opinions will start to become more valid if we continue to see what we've seen 7 games in this year, lack of accountability from the coaching staff and not the necessary adjustments from the coaching staff, then I think some of those opinions are warranted. Do I think they're warranted right now? No, because like you said, Slim Shady, when you keep on going through the recycling over and over of new coaching staff and then new philosophies and then the same old preaching and high hopes, and then you don't get the results that you expect, I agree with you. This program is going to stay, and that's something that me and the Big Dog have said from the very beginning, that we believed and that Manny, that he got it. He understands the culture. He was a fan of the University of Miami. He understands what it takes to win. He understands the breed of players that he wants to recruit, and that's going to take time. Understandable. But what I'm seeing is what you're preaching, we're not seeing it. Not only are we not seeing it on the field, but we need to see that same accountability that you want the players to have, I want the coaching staff to have as well. And that's something that I haven't seen. And that's something that really brings me down and worries me. So if this is what we're going to see moving forward into the foreseeable future, then we need to reevaluate a lot of things. Now, I'm not giving up on Manny. I'm not, but I'm also not going to keep on defending Manny the same way I've been defending him in the past few weeks when people have been calling him a politician and people have been saying that he's been lying to us. And frankly, I've run out of excuses to defend Manny Diaz, but I do not want to fire Manny Diaz. I don't want to fire anybody yet on this coaching staff, but I do need to see some sort of accountability from them. And I have to see a display on the field as well. If players are not getting it done, whoever's not getting it done, you're getting benched. If whatever it is, whatever changes that you have to make, you need to start making them, Manny. And I need to see less pressers of you getting defensive and of you trying to lay out smoke and mirrors for the fan base and get them excited about a product that frankly is not exciting on the field right now. And you cannot blame the fan base, and you cannot pitch, man, that there are a lot of things going right for this program when we see what happened yesterday and we're sitting here at 3-4 the first time since 1997. That's what gets me frustrated, and that's why, you know, my rant began with the coaching staff, because of the things that they're saying. It's not going hand in hand with the things that you've been preaching since the beginning. So I need to see changes very soon with the things that you're preaching, the product on the field, in order for us to back you up 100%. Not saying that we're not backing you up, and I'm gonna keep on saying this, man. We're not. Yeah, we're not.
I want to address that Turin blow with the $5 donation and the comment. See if you can find it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Turin.
I missed it, man. I'll put it on right now.
No, you got to do it. Turin blow. Thank you so much for the donation, partner. We really appreciate it. And he had a good comment also.
I hate to say this, but the Hurricanes have turned into the New York Knicks of college. We relived and on the past, and have to realize the mystique is gone.
That's fair.
That's fair enough.
Here's the thing, though. I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from, and I'm glad it just popped into my mind. A better way to explain it: if we weren't 3-4 right now, if we were 1-6, okay, and the reason that we were 1-6 is because Manny went ape crap. Okay, I'm trying to keep it G-rated. Yeah. Okay, and Manny went off and benched a whole bunch of guys because they weren't putting out, and we were 1-6, I'd be okay with Manny right now.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, because then I'm seeing that what you said is what you're doing. You talk that talk and you walking that walk. Okay, but what I saw was 2 horrible practices in a row on Wednesday, and the second one you cut practice. You didn't cut practice short. You stopped practice and you went into one-on-one drills and punishments. Everybody that lost a one-on-one drill because you were going to make it competitive. And you talked about leadership, and you talked about accountability, and you talked about people not that didn't toe the line, that there were going to be some changes. And then you didn't do a damn thing.
No. We got another $5 donation from Slim Shady. Everything you are saying is the exact same things that were said about Butch Davis for 3 years.
Listen to the players that played under Butch. Listen to the players that played under Butch. Okay, that's not the case. Okay, they didn't like Butch. Right. People saw that Butch was this, the redhead and all this stuff, but ask the players did not like Butch because he damn sure held them to a standard.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the thing, guys. that I want you guys to understand. This is not because we're 3-4. Because if we were 1-6, because Manny benched player A, player B, player C, player D, because they weren't putting out in practice. And because of that, we were playing less talented guys and we were getting beat because of talent. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. But at least I would see Manny trying to instill a culture, because I'm telling you right now, he's been talking about instilling a culture. I've heard him say it 24 times. About how he's trying to change the culture. He's trying to instill a competitive culture. He's trying to remember that Miami's football program doesn't belong to the coaches. It belongs to that alumni that's on the wall. And what always happened was player accountability, because the players held themselves accountable and they worked harder on Green Tree than they did during the games. And all those things that we heard from Manny. And I thought to myself, okay, he gets it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
right? He gets it. Where's the follow-up? Where's the walking the walk?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
You keep trotting out the same people over there over and over again, and yet no changes. Nobody gets benched. DJ Ivey, this is a perfect example. Everybody knew it was punt safe. Bubba Bolden screamed it out. DJ Ivey heard it. He allows a touchdown.
Demetrius.
He allows a touchdown. And what happened? Did DJ Ivey get benched?
Nope.
Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
Not a damn thing happened to DJ Ivey.
Yeah.
Okay. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Okay. And somebody had brought out here, play to Corey Couch, because Corey's a dog. And I agree with you. Corey's a dog. And my point is, if you start establishing a culture of, I don't care if Corey isn't ready for college football, but guess what, DJ? You're not either. So you're going to sit your butt on your bench, because next time when a coach says punt safe, you do what you do, what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. They
Anthony was talking about, because Brandon had mentioned Alonzo Highsmith, that he has a history and player personnel in the NFL. He does, and I knew that. I forgot who mentioned the comment. Oh, Brandon. Brandon. The thing is, the job, and Anthony Manzano had mentioned this. The job of an AD has a lot to do with stuff that's fundraising and basically, dealing with the tennis team and with the swim team. That might not be a job that Alonzo has any interest in. Okay, because it's not just football. So, but that was the point, that it's not, though. This is not a knee-jerk reaction because of 3-4. Because, like I said, if we were 1-6 instead of 3-4, and Manny was doing what he said he was going to do, then you got it. Then I'm with you.
Yeah.
Then I'm with you, because then, now he's instilling a culture, and there's going to be some rough patches until we get the kids that have the talent and the attitude and the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I could live with that. But what I can't live is that you said one thing and are not doing it. Players are not being held accountable. Coaching staff is not being held accountable. And then you say we're in rebuild mode and there's too much going right to panic now. GTFOH. Okay?
Yeah.
That's about as clean as I can make it.
Hey, I haven't put a plug in yet, man, because me and the big dog are very frustrated, rightfully so. But if you guys are new here, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Anytime we do upload a video or live, you can get notified. Hit that like button if you are in here. I can't see how many likes how many likes we have, because StreamYard doesn't allow me to see that, and I'm only on StreamYard. So if you guys haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. We're gonna do a few more minutes, man, because we got NFL football coming up at 1, and me and the big dog have some fantasy things to attend to. So, but yeah, this is something that we might do more often, man. Some reaction after games, because we don't like waiting until Thursday, and we feel like things have to be talked about after games on Saturday. So we might do more lives on Sundays in the morning. We know the Wholesome, I think, is going live today at 1, so go check out Wholesome 1. He's gonna go live at 1, but we might do 11. If you guys like the
11
this time slot, 11 a.m., let us know on Sundays, and we'll continue doing it, man. But yeah,
Justin Davis had talked about how poorly Ivey has played at times. And Justin, I agree with you. Here's the thing, though, I'm going to say to you. If he was fighting his butt off, okay, and focused on the game, and doing everything the way he had been coached to do, and giving max effort and max focus, I could live with him getting beat because he's young. Okay. What happened yesterday
Billy,
on the punt, on the fake punt, that's unforgivable, because that isn't, oh, well, you just got beat. No. That is, I don't want to run after this guy. Okay? Because I know for a fact he heard the call. Because I literally saw Bubba Bolden jumping up and down, like not more than 15, not even 15, 10 yards away from DJ Ivey. And DJ Ivey heard the call, because you can see as soon as Bubba was doing it, he went right to like he was going to play the guy press. And he literally let the guy run right by him. That's a lack of effort.
Yeah.
That's a lack of effort. That's a lack of focus. That's a lack of caring.
Yeah.
And that I can't forgive.
Anthony, I saw your comment. Me and the big dog already addressed the Manny situation, man. So you have to go back earlier in the stream to go ahead and catch that, man. We're about to get out of here, guys. It's a tough loss, man. And
yeah, there you go, Carlos. Look at Carlos Wilkerson. Put up that comment Carlos Wilkerson just said.
That Manny should have said, "Take that you off and get yeah."
That's holding somebody accountable, Carlos. That's what I'm talking about. If we were 1-6 right now because Manny had benched 10 guys that shouldn't have been on the field, I'll live with that. Yeah. I can live with that response. But when, as a coaching staff, you keep doing the same things you're doing, nothing changes, nobody gets benched, nobody gets any serious type of discipline. I'm not talking about, I don't know what happened with JT4. I've heard all kinds of rumors. I don't want to. Cohen said, hey, what do you say, Cohen? I heard all kinds of rumors of different things with JT4. I'm not going to say a rumor publicly that I don't know for a fact. And especially when it talks about some young man's character. So yeah. I can't address exactly what happened with JT4. All I know was violation of team rules. Yeah. And
Ben Pratt, our Facebook page, man, just look up Junior and the big dog. I think an easy way to look at it is at Junior, the letter N, and the big dog. For some reason, the live stream, I think it was acting up early on with Facebook. So what I might have to do is after this video post onto Facebook, I'm gonna go ahead and upload the video on Facebook so our Facebook viewers can see it, man. But yeah, guys, yeah, it's bad. It's real bad, and you know, there's no, we can't put a positive spin on this. We just can't, frankly.
There is no positive spin.
But yeah, guys, check us out on Facebook, man. We're trying to grow our Facebook page because doing that, it'll also grow our YouTube family. Before we get out of here, man, hit that like button. I think I saw somebody said we had like 150 people in here and only 37 likes. So before you get out of here,
hit the like button.
Hit that like button so it can move us up and a lot more people can see this reaction video. We'll see what's gonna happen. We'll see more pressers, hopefully better ones. I don't know.
I'm getting to the point. And you know how much support I gave Manny, and I'm getting to the point I don't even want to see him in a presser anymore. I really don't. I really don't. Because I've seen a lack of frankness and a lack of self-awareness to realize that if he wants to walk the walk, I don't know if you guys know this, but on Twitter, what was it, last week or the week before last? 2 weeks ago. I don't know if he even saw it. I don't know if he even cares. But I did send
the Bill Parcells.
Yeah. I sent Manny he
didn't see it, dude.
A quote. I don't know. Obviously he didn't. He definitely didn't listen.
Obviously he didn't see that.
Yeah, obviously he didn't read it. I sent Manny a quote from it was a Bill Parcells quote. Bill Parcells, his first year as a head coach with the New York Giants, had a horrible season, had a really bad season. He attributed it to part of it was he didn't do things his way. You know, this is his first head coaching gig in the NFL. So, you know, it's the cream of the cream. So he listened to the player personnel guys. He listened to the general manager. You know, he listened to all these different people, the coaches, the other coaches that he had hired, the coaches that were, you know, he had all these different voices telling him, you know, one way or another. And a lot of people thought he was going to be fired because he ended up 3-12-1 was his first year with the New York Giants. So he only won 3 games, lost 12 and tied 1. So it was threatened that he was on the hot seat, that he was going to be fired. And in fact, they went after a college coach. I'm trying to remember who the college coach was that they went after, but they were going after some hot college coach at the time. And that college coach would have taken the job, Parcells would have been fired. So Parcells said to himself, you know what? If I'm going to be fired, I'm going to be fired for doing things my way. Okay. And whatever the hell happens, let it happen. But if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out doing things my way. Okay. And that's when Bill Parcells started cutting guys that weren't towing the line, playing other guys. He didn't care what the guys' contracts were. He made his decisions his way, and he has success. And the rest is history. Won a couple of Super Bowls with the New York Giants. Okay, and then of course became a Hall of Famer. All right, I sent that quote to Manny because I really thought a couple of weeks ago that maybe he was listening to people of not overreacting and trying to be more of a CEO and less fiery and less emotional. So I sent them the Bill Parcells quote where Bill Parcells said, if I'm going to get fired, I'm going to get fired doing things my way. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Right? So, but yet I see the press conference yesterday, and man, I almost busted my TV is like, I have a lot of love for my TV. And there was almost a remote control thrown at it when I heard him say the rebuild word and then heard him say that there's too much right going on.
You haven't seen
to panic.
You haven't seen the GIF of when they threw the shoe at George Bush.
Oh no!
Yeah, a lot of people are like, that's how they feel when they're watching Manny Diaz.
Yeah,
throw a shoe in his face.
Yeah, dude, and it's like, huh? Wait a second. Now you're talking about a rebuild. When you said that Shaq and Pinckney came back and McLeod,
I'm not digging that, coach, at all.
Because they didn't want to go 7-6 because they were 7-6 players. No, maybe they're worse. Yeah, because the way we're looking worse than 7-6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about, and there's too much right going on. When Georgia Tech, Jeff Collins is really rebuilding because they are running a completely different system. Mm-hmm. This was a team that ran triple option for years and was different than any other team in college football, almost, because the Navy, in fact, all the service academies all run at least, basically they all run a triple option of some type. But anyways, so he actually has a rebuild because he has players that he hardly can even use anymore because they just don't fit into the spread. So he runs like this weird quasi spread with some option elements and stuff like that. That guy has a rebuild excuse. We talked about it yesterday with Rico. Georgia Tech has only 6 players in the NFL. Miami's still 4th in the NFL in number of players on rosters.
Mm-hmm.
Miami still number 4 in the country of the number of players on NFL rosters. And there's only one of those guys from our glory days, which is Frank Gore.
Mm-hmm.
So the talent is there. The talent has been there.
Who's going to run all over the Dolphins today?
Yeah. Okay, that dude made some deal with the devil or something, because that man, not only is he a first ballot Hall of Famer, he better be a unanimous Hall of Famer, because what Frank Gore has done, the type of, you want to talk about character, that's the type of guys that we need. Here's a guy who had every excuse to not put out or to cut his career short. He had major knee surgery at Coral Gables High School, major knee surgery with the Hurricanes. People thought he was not even going to make it in the NFL because of how injury prone he was. And the dude right now is 4th all time on the NFL rushing list, behind only Emmett, Walter Payton, and Barry Sanders. Okay, then comes Frank Gore, and that shows you exactly what type of character still exists out there. And I know Frank Gore isn't the generation that's there nowadays. But at the same time, you still have those guys. So,
yeah. All right, guys. Hey, look, man. Right. That's pretty much gonna wrap it up. If you guys haven't already, once again, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment. If you're watching this on the replay, comment your thoughts below, how you feel. Just let it go, man. Just vent. I understand the frustrations, man. And this is a really low point right now for this university. But Junior and the big dog are not going anywhere, and it still is and always will be
all about this
you, no matter what. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Have a great Sunday, guys. Thank you.